senior print journalism major here. And I'm here to introduce Mr. Reiman. He's our first speaker tonight, and he is the founder of Reiman Publications. He has founded 14 national magazines with no advertising and 16 million subscribers. So please help me in welcoming Mr. Reiman.
Thank you, Mallory. You know, these young people that Samir has handled us, each of the speakers, so if you aren't a speaker, know that they assist us all and follow us all over and go the extra mile. Of course, a lot of these students are still this high off the ground after the game Saturday. Now they told me that Ole Miss is on the cover of Sports Illustrated this week. That's big, but they're at your beck and call. They check out what you need. They're always asking, and it's I think it's a little early in the week, but let's just welcome all these students and thank them for what they do. I mean, they really pay attention to everything. Do I really have lettuce on my teeth? Am I the only one that speaks at lunches and dinners and every now and then just once you go to get the mic with a little salad on your tooth, and you think the audience is laughing because what you said was funny, but it's there. Maybe that's all me. As far as fear goes, Samir probably has more fear than I do of people coming to his office. How many of you have been to Samir's office? Okay, you know what I'm talking about there. I mean, this is not really an office. It's more like a huge magazine dumpster is what it is. I mean, really, he has magazines, not hundreds. You've seen a porn maze. This is like a magazine maze that you walk through and find your way and finally discover where the desk is. I wonder how many do you have filed now that you put in storage? Was it 30,000? 30,000 magazines. He has the current issue of everyone. You can't be, they must be count. You can subscribe to all those. Maybe he's got to deal with a newsstand down the street or something. I don't know. Anyway, I've spoken so often at these ACT conferences that I don't really have a lot new to cover anymore. I kind of got the impression from Samir that I'm supposed to warm up the audience a little bit. And warming up a Mississippi audience is a lot easier than where I'm from, Wisconsin. In Milwaukee, we had our first snow flurries last Saturday, which is sort of a harbinger of what's to come. So when I asked Samir what I might talk about, he said, he more than subtly hinted that I might tell the group why I like the ACT conferences and have been at every one of them when I don't go to a lot of other conferences anymore. So I feel a little bit like a shill. I feel kind of like a verbal advertorial. And maybe I should be inclined to ask for the right-hand page. But seriously, I have attended a lot of other conferences and seminars over the years. I started publishing sort of like, I think, shortly after the Civil War. I've attended enough of these gatherings, and I contend that this one's the best. And why? Well, the topics are current, carefully selected. And the speakers, 40 of them this year. No wonder you have 160 attendants. 40 of them are speakers. But anyway, the speakers, what I particularly like is that these speakers are doers instead of dreamers. They're mostly entrepreneurs who have put their ideas and their money on the line and have learned through these experiences and mistakes and are willing to share them. By contrast, some of the other meetings and seminars I've gone to over the years, it seems that there's a lot of actually salespeople involved wanting to connect with publishers for obvious reasons. And there's usually a few in there that are using it for networking and probably making contacts for the next job. At least that's the way I view it. What's more, some of these conferences, the others, start late in the morning, and then they break at noon and have a golf outing. by comparison, Samir runs these things like a little Hitler. I mean, the sessions start early. They're on schedule. They're filled with a series of short presentations to allow a lot of topics, information, questions, and they run right in the late afternoon. Now, I made that note before I learned that we're breaking tomorrow at 2:30 for a dally in the Delta, but normally that's the case the whole, and it keeps people in their seats throughout the sessions. So yes, Samir, I have enjoyed the ACT experiences more than others, but you haven't helped my golf game as much as the others. I'm going to attempt to share something of merit and interest before Michael digs in the heavy hitter here with the future of publishing. As most of you know, at least some of you know, and Mallory mentioned, we made a living in publishing without magazines, without advertising. We ended up with 14 national magazines with over 16 million subscribers, and at the peak, over every 8th home in America got one of our magazines. And through that, a lot of people concluded that I must be against advertising. Nothing can be farther from the truth. The first magazine I had was was supported wholly and solely with advertising. And now that I flunked retirement twice and got back into business and publishing a magazine from my home state of Iowa, Visual Aid, and another from my adopted state of Wisconsin. I'm back in the ad game again. You know, when you publish a magazine, as we've done in the past with no advertising, you really have to emphasize creativity and content. And it occurs to me that should be really the end goal for everybody here. To publish the kind of magazine that is so well done, so interesting, and so desired by readers that subscribers will pay a premium fee to receive it, and that the ads would simply be the frosting on the cake and main source of support. And when a magazine is that good and in that kind of demand, advertisers will recognize it. And you won't have to sell ads, you'll just accept ads. It can be done, and we're doing it now. That's pretty much the basis on which we're now publishing our Iowa and our Wisconsin magazines. I've sort of combined what I learned publishing ad-free, no ad magazines, with what I learned publishing ad-supported magazines. And so far it's working well. For example, when we launched our Wisconsin and our Iowa, we told our subscribers from the outset that while most magazines are on a 60-40 ad basis, we were going to support these magazines primarily with subscriptions and limit advertising to no more than 20%. And we followed through on that promise. Ever hear of an ad-supported magazine limiting advertising before? We do, and it works. We also told our readers and our advertisers that we were going to limit our ads, our issues, to 84 pages per issue, no more. We told the readers that after all, the two of us, the editor and I, had come out of retirement to do this, and we wouldn't work that hard publishing thick magazines. We're just 2 men in a magazine, kind of like 2 men in a truck, and that's the deal. We're going for content rather than quantity in every issue. Turns out our readers love this limited advertising policy, and they mention it in letters repeatedly. We now have over 90,000 paid subscriptions to each of the state magazines at a high subscription rate, and we're growing about 5,000 more per month. And our advertisers love it too. Instead of being mixed in and competing with the trunkload of ads from other companies, they feel their ad gets more attention in that 20% mix. Now, ever hear of a magazine turning down ads? We do. When we hit that 20% mark, we say, sorry, we hit the limit, try us next issue. You can't believe how early our ads come in. As a result, 84% of our advertisers now have multiple issue contracts, and over 50% have full year contracts. It proves again that people always want what's hard to get. We have I have trouble with money. We have $52,000 of ads in our current issue of our Iowa, and if we keep hitting that 20% lid, we'll raise our ad rates. You may find this interesting too. We don't have an ad salesman. We don't. We don't sell ads, we take ads. Well, we sort of have an ad salesman, but he's fictional, he doesn't even exist. So, see, what I, and likely most of you have learned over the years, is that an ad salesman or an ad salesperson, if the salary is $50,000, he or she will normally cost you about another $100,000 for the whining and dining, right, Scott, and travel. So that's $150,000. We can't afford that. So I created this fictional ad salesman. His name is Cal, and every 2 weeks, all those on our potential advertising list get a letter from Cal with another sorry excuse why he couldn't make the personal meeting. His Saturn breaks down, he has a cold, he's tied up with fantasy football pool, Cal's girlfriend Sal has a birthday. They're all corny, but they're just funny enough that the reader wants to read to see what the excuse is this time for no personal call. And obviously, there's a sales message in each one with a deadline for the next ad. Now, you may find this interesting too, and maybe even surprising. Here we are working our tails off, coming up with the best content we can put together for each issue. And then our subscribers keep writing and telling us, we read the ads first. We hear it all the time. We read the ads first. And here's why. Years ago, when I was still doing Country Magazine, I wanted to add a little more fun to the issue, something new and different. I was mowing, Scott knows this story, I was mowing lawn one night, and for some reason I was thinking about Cracker Jack. Did you know as kids, when you got a box of Cracker Jack, you knew it was a cheap little plastic toy, but you wanted to know what kind of cheap little plastic toy. I always wondered how much Cracker Jack they sold for the gimmick rather than the corn. And I thought, why can't we do that with a magazine? Couldn't we do something like that to make it more fun for readers? So we started hiding a needle in a haystack in Country Magazine. Our circulation at the time was about 2.5 million. And as Samir knows, we actually got over 100,000 people per issue would write in and said, I found the needle on page 57 and get in on the drawings for the prizes. So when I launched our Iowa and our Wisconsin, I decided to have to hide something in the ads. So we had a tiny I in just 3 ads in our Iowa magazine, and a tiny W in just 3 ads in our Wisconsin magazine. And the readers have to find all 3 to get in on the drawing for the prizes. Who provides the prizes? The advertisers. We have each advertiser give $100 worth of their product or service. Let's say it's a motel, it could be one night stay. Let's say it's a restaurant, it could be a dinner for 2 or 4 depending on the price. So they have to give a $100 prize, but then we deduct $100 from their ad costs, so it really costs them nothing. Our readers love this game of finding these eyes. I mean, it's why they said we read the ads first, because they have the fun of the contest of looking them up. And no wonder, because we had over $5,000 worth of prizes in the last issue, and we got over 6,000 entries from readers entering the contest. So that's why our readers say, we read the ads first. It's these kind of things that I find, I think that if you're in any kind of business, I'm wrapping up my time's up here, but I think in any business, in a Truth magazine, is that first you want to make it different. Whatever you're doing, make it different. First make it different, and then make it better. Different, the uniqueness is as important as what you're doing yourself. And I think that's especially true in this industry. I think some magazines who are probably struggling or challenged, your best chance of whipping it is with creativity. Because in publishing, creativity is still the engine that powers publishing. I could go on with a number of other ideas that we've done, wild ideas over the years. I obviously love this industry, but my time's up. So I hope I haven't come across as a wise guy and no doubt with all the ideas, because I've certainly had a lot of bad ones. I've had a lot of mistakes, but mistakes just show you how to do things right. And I've learned from each of them and moved on. But mostly my editor and I are having fun with this, and we just don't take publishing that seriously. And I think readers sense that, and they want to be in on the fun of the game. So I hope all of you, and especially all of you students here, look forward to enjoying your days ahead of the industry as much as I have and still do. I've had a plaque on my office wall for years that says, "The day this isn't fun, I quit." And I never got close to quitting. So I'll leave you with the two words that I always write to Scott and my friends in the industry. I sign off with "right on." Thank you.